Okay, the year is 2013, and two brothers are joyfully riding on the coattails of the Wii's release, playing wonderful games like Mario Kart Wii, one of the best installments in the series, and Resident Evil 4, one of the most revolutionary Resident Evil games ever released, still shaping the franchise to this day, for good or for worse. To be more specific, I played Mario Kart on my DS. I was a little goblin, but one of those games were different. A game that would stick with the little brother for years to come. That game was Monster Hunter Tri. I had a whole segment in here on how I was a dumb little kid and how I couldn't figure out this game, but now I'm realizing that that game was just actually pretty confusing and hard to navigate. I'm still confused to this day. This isn't even the right game. But still, it was something new, something I had never seen before. The environments were open and beautiful. I say environments, but I never got past the first one. The monsters that inhabited felt alive. The gear you could craft looked unique and awesome. Sadly, it would all slip through my fingers, or my fingers just didn't know how to solve a Rubik's Cube. The year is 2018. I go to my local Walmart and I make a purchase that will change my life forever. And by that, I mean addiction. I buy Monster Hunter World.
Once you board this ship, there's no turning back. The next ground your feet will touch will be that of the new world. If any of you have lost your nerve, then step away now, and let no one judge you. Very well. Then say
And with that lovely intro out the way, I'll be your host today, Jam. And today we'll be talking about Monster Hunter and everything that makes it great. For all intended purposes, Monster Hunter is a phenomena. And I know why. For a game where all you really do is hunt, I always found myself coming back to this game until I sat down and realized it was probably the addictive gameplay loop. Now I'm not gonna pretend to understand all these fancy terms, but what I do know is us humans, we love being rewarded for tasks we complete. And that is all this game does. After every single hunt, you get rewarded just enough to keep you coming back for more, and just a little that you only reach the edge of insanity. Yes, you're gonna have to fight the Legiana 50 times to get the Legiana gem. Seriously, I hunted this dude so much, but it would never drop the gem. I don't know why. Now, that's all fine and dandy, but at the end of the day, does any of it really matter if what you're hunting is boring? Let me assure you, what you're hunting is far from it. Alright, let's see what we got here as I look at my imaginary list. We got a giant T-Rex, a fire-breathing dragon, a monster with a sword for a tail, a unicorn that is considered a dragon, that can control lightning, a dragon with so much power he could beat Goku if he tried, a dragon that eats other dragons, a flying squirrel-type monster, and explosions. Lots of explosions. Hunting in this game is so deep. Pretty much every monster here is completely unique, all of them having their own ways of fighting. And I think that's the reason why it's so much fun, because it's all about how you approach it. The monsters are so dynamic, you can see their battle scars over time. I should not have to tell you how cool that is. Hunts feel alive and reactive, not to mention you do not know how good it feels to cut a monster's tail off or destroy its horns with bloodthirsty intent and zero remorse. Side note, I think the actual message of Monster Hunter is that the hunters are the monsters, or is it the players? I don't really know. Let's move on. The areas you hunt these monsters in can either be a detriment or an opportunity. Some of the areas can slow you down, making you an easy target, or you can use the environment to damage the monster. Not to mention, monsters fight each other in turf wars. There is no right or wrong way to approach a hunt, whether you're killing the monster or capturing it. There's so many ways you can go about it. Your main takeaway should be you go in and hunt how you want to hunt, unless the mission gives you a specific objective. But really think about it. Hunting these monsters only perpetuates this infinite cycle of violence. Do we hunt them because we're being attacked by them, or do we hunt them because we need them to survive? Are these monsters innocent, or are they the true villains? So many questions with no answers. I should really move on. Okay, now what can I say about the areas other than they're all drop dead gorgeous? I mean, this game looks so good. That's one of the reasons why I got it. But there's something about these areas that are special. And I think the coolest part about them to me is that they try to implement every monster in each area. It really feels like the monsters belong and live here, and that's just awesome to me. The best thing about these areas in this game are the layout and the visual design. Now I think the best designed maps in this game are the Ancient Forest and the Coral Highlands. I kid you not, the Ancient Forest is this giant forest connected by one big fat mama tree that anybody with a soul would have an absolute blast exploring. Coral Highlands is literally just if you took an underwater reef and put it above water. Not to throw shade at the other areas, they're all great, but I just think these two are the best. They stand out to me the most. You have the Rotten Vale, which is just a decomposing cesspool full to the brim with rotting corpses. Death is everywhere you look, but there's something peaceful about it. In this area, you find a dead Legiana fallen from the sky, once a living and vibrant creature, just lying there lifeless. It really helps sell the world to you, seeing the full cycle of these monsters from where they start to where they end up. You have the Wildspire Waste, which is just World 2 of New Super Mario Bros. And then there's the Elder's Recess. If there was a cool kids table for these areas, this would be where all the cool kids sat at. Just the design alone is beyond awesome, and that is what these areas do. They tell a story, all connected by the monsters that inhabit it. All beautiful and all unique in their own way. That is the beauty of the areas in Monster Hunter World. Vengeful, evil spirits, disingenuous and manipulative. These are the words and phrases I would use to describe cats. Ancient scholars of our world believe that the government was controlled by lizard people, but I'm here to tell you it's controlled by cats. I have considerable amounts of evidence to back up my claims. Sources in the description. Cats not only control all of society, but have invented all the constructs that we see today. I've known this for years. I've always fought against the cats and their tyranny, but they got me too. All because I played Monster Hunter. In Monster Hunter, every hunt you go on, you will be accompanied by your Palico, your fun, friendly little cat buddy. I'm not a cat guy, but even I have to say these dudes are adorable. But most importantly, they're useful. I don't want to understate how useful they can be, especially with the right upgrades. They can heal you mid-battle, save your life from the brink of death, get valuable parts off a monster. Most importantly, are great moral support. And every time I look into Jimmy's adorable little eyes, I get the strength I need to keep moving forward and pressing on. There's something so special about Palico companions. There's a lot of games where you get companions and they're kind of just there, but something about them feels personal, and I don't really know how to explain it, but they're definitely a part of the journey, and it's what makes this game great in my opinion. All the weapons in this game are awesome, while also being one of the easiest ways to keep this game refreshing. But the main weapon I use is the sword and shield, but there are so many options. The insect glaive, the lance gun, because I guess poking people wasn't enough, you gotta shoot them too. The greatsword if you want to do big damage, the longsword if you want to be stylish, the dual blades if you hate sharpness, the charge blade if you want to be flashy and do damage, the hammer if you want to do big damage and be annoying. I don't even know what you do with a switch axe. The hunting horn if you want to give infinite buffs to your teammates, and a bow and arrow if you want to shoot a bow and an arrow. And a gun, because why not? Most of the weapons follow the same format of easy to use but interesting to master. It's so fun finding every intricate detail of how to use your specific weapon. Some are deeper than others, but they all bring something fun and unique to the table. Or you can be a god like me and use a sword and shield. The choice will always be yours. These are all the reasons I love this game, whether it be the monsters, the graphics, the soundtrack, the areas, or the friends I played with along the way. They all come together and make something truly beautiful. There will always be a special place in my heart for Monster Hunter Tri, no matter how much of a Rubik's Cube the game is. I would have never gotten into this franchise without it. Even after new Monster Hunter games come out, I always find myself coming back to this one. Monster Hunter World always finds a way to bring me back in. Sometimes it feels just like magic. If you made it to the end of the video, I super appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. I am putting on the crown for the most inconsistent small YouTuber I know. I'm sorry, friends, for being incredibly inconsistent, but I'll keep trying my best no matter what happens. And as always, I will catch you on the flip side.